Another side note, some people thought that when I said that Noel wanted Chris to have Wranglers at the Brony convention, and that Bella was to be a Wrangler, that was me for some reason saying that Noel set up Bella to be a Wrangler. No, that's not what happened, nor is that what I said. Noel, who was the owner of the Kiwi Farms, wanted to create a bodyguard system for Chris, and Bella was to be one of the bodyguards. No, that's not what happened, nor is that what I said. Noel, who was the owner of the Kiwi Farms, wanted to create a bodyguard system for Chris. No. Throughout this entire endeavor, I've been consistent on my principle that no matter how bad a person is or how serious a situation looks, you shouldn't jump on juicy stories or have clickable headlines.
Well, the truth comes out.
Liar, liar, plants for hire.
No.
Jokes aside for a moment before I get into my little rant, I do want to wish Fiona the best for her mental health and safety. I really do hope that she's doing well, because she didn't deserve to be the target of all this just because she showed genuine interest in Chris. There's no reason for that. There's no reason for it anyway, but either way, I want Fiona to get better, and I hope that she does. If you have not watched the last video when I talked about Devon, then I really hope that you do before watching this one so you get context. After the whole Fiona doxing, as expected, Devon didn't post about Christian for a few days. His next post was about something completely separate from that, and then on August 16th, Devon posts about Chris and updates to that again in the whole Isabella situation. And I'm thinking, maybe in my head, maybe Devon's gonna apologize about what he did to Fiona, because to me that's like the main concern in all this. Yeah, I'm upset about the fact that he went seeking news from Isabella first. Trust me, I'm angry about that, but I'm more angry about the fact that Fiona, this person who really should not have been harassed, is now seeking care for her mental health, and that's just not right to me, especially because apparently Fiona was a fan of GiBi even before Gino. And imagine if someone you're a fan of does this without knowing all the information, spreading lies about you, and then doxing you so people come and harass you. That would be so fucked up. It's just really just awful all around, and Devon's response to it has been nothing but deflect, deflect, deflect. Let me blame Kiwi Farms. Let me blame the fact that I never said this. I never said the whole thing about Noel and the bodyguard situation, even though you did. Okay, sure, maybe the way you phrased it didn't mean what you meant, but to any person listening, that's gonna sound like Noel hired Isabella. How does that not sound like that to you, Devon? Are you really still going with this? It's just lies, and you're spreading information, and then claiming on top of that, oh, I'm gonna be sending out trustworthy news. Trustworthy. Okay. I don't even know how to trust you after this, especially if you can't even just step up and just acknowledge what you did was wrong in this situation. I could forgive you for that. I could at least respect you as an influencer if you came forward and said, listen, I fucked up about the whole situation. I really sincerely apologize to Fiona. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have been so hasty about going out to get a news story, and just admit that's what you were trying to do and stop hiding behind this whole I'm holier than thou. You're not, Devon. You're not. People have contradicted you multiple times. You're a joke at this point. Everything you say is a joke, and you can't just move on and pretend that what you did didn't happen. And not even just that, but completely lie about the fact that you said certain things. And then you want to say that you didn't and act like we're the crazy ones. Like, yeah, I think all of us, we just heard the wrong thing. We heard that whole thing. That was wrong. All of it ended up being a lie that adds no validity to this whole shit, because it's all a lie. Because Isabella is a fucking sociopath that lies. If Devon had waited even a little longer for more information to come out about this bitch, then he probably wouldn't even be in this situation. But because he's so desperate, I think at this point, to be a part of Chris's history and shit, because he wants money, because he likes the attention, the fame, whatever it may be, haven't you kind of lost sight of what's important, Devon? The fact that your lies ended up putting someone in a mental health facility, the fact that your lies spread more misinformation about Chris and everything else, the fact that the way you handle this makes it look like you're supporting Bella over supporting the poor girl that you doxed and basically psychologically scarred. What is the matter with you? Why does it matter so much to be right about this situation? Why can't you just man up and admit that you made a fucking mistake? That you were so hasty, that you were so quick to get this out there, that you couldn't even fucking edit out something that's fucking basic YouTuber logic. You don't put people's information like that out there. That's just something you don't do. And someone with your influence, I'm surprised you did that. That's a fucking idiotic move. And the reason why I'm so angry about this is because hearing everything about this Isabella person, she's sick. And the fact that Devon was even entertaining her at all was just giving her what the fuck she wanted. She wants attention. She likes it. She's that type of person. And you just gave it to her because you wanted to get the news out there first. Because you just needed to post that 21 minutes, right? It's just really upsetting that all of this spiraled because of you wanting to post a story.
So we have a complex situation where things are constantly unfolding, which leads to misinformation. Unfortunately for us, misinformation is Bella's greatest weapon, which creates a paradox on whether to report on the best known information, which might hide Bella behind false facts, or whether to not report at all, which will hide Bella behind obscurity. I will continue to do my best in being accurate and covering the information and giving unbiased updates.
Really, the problem boils down to is that Devon wants to look like this unbiased reporter or journalist on Chris when he is constantly getting himself involved in a situation, which then makes you a biased person in something. Don't you get that? If you're interviewing Bella before any other information comes out, then that makes you kind of biased. You're literally choosing a side to go on. You chose Bella's side and then revealed a lot of personal information about Fiona when you didn't even need to do all that. You didn't really need to bring up Fiona at all because Fiona doesn't play a part in it, and as you see, you were wrong. How can I trust someone who can't even recognize when they did something wrong? If you want to be a good journalist, Devon, then wait for stuff to come out when it does. Don't try to interfere and make it come out faster than it does so you can be the first to report on it. That might be a good idea. Maybe do a little research first. Don't dox a person when you're actually reporting the news. And if you do dox a person, maybe apologize to them. Do something to make amends. Show that you actually fucking care, other than just reporting on Chris's next fucking movements. Oh, also, maybe don't be a hypocrite when you make jokes in your thumbnails all the fucking time, Devon. Don't blame others for not having the information out when you're the one that reported the wrong information. Also, Devon, don't get mad at Dylan because he's calling you out for your shit. I know you did because you mentioned it in your video, so don't try and say that you didn't.
With that said, making up and spreading blatant lies about people or making clickbait videos titled Chris Chan Innocent are definitely not the ways to go about it.
Maybe man up and actually acknowledge what you did was wrong. These are a few tips I'm giving you, Devon, because it would be better for you in the long run than to keep up this charade and this lie that you were a huge victim to Isabella's schemes. You could have just not reported it. You could have just not talked to her because it's none of your fucking business. Again, in all of this, I feel really awful for Fiona. She didn't deserve any of this. GiBi isn't going to apologize, and it's not like I have to on his behalf or anything, but he really should apologize. It's not right what he did. It's not right that he keeps trying to blame others and shift the blame so he doesn't have to take responsibility. It's not right. As much as I hope for an influencer to man up and admit what they've done is wrong, I'm not naive and I know that it's not gonna happen. I know that Devon will probably just continue to shift blame and act like he's a victim to Bella's lies and he had to get the news out there before anybody else. But because Devon was worried that Bella's whole shit would go into obscurity if he wasn't the first one to get news out there. I think with everything going on and shit that keeps coming out daily about this bitch, don't worry, Devon. We got you handled. There's a bunch of other people. There's a whole fucking channel posting clips of pictures and videos and sightings of her. Don't worry. You're not the only one. You don't have to report on this all the time. You don't have to be the first one to report on it. You can just report on it when a lot of stuff comes out about it, or just report what you hear instead of trying to make things happen on your own. It makes me feel like you're desperate for Chris Chan information. information. No matter how you get it, that's what it comes off like, and if that is the truth, then that's really sad. I'm not trying to be whatever, it's just everything that Devon has done in response to this has felt wrong to me. I thought he was someone I could trust with Chris News. I thought that he was someone that I could respect as an influencer, and I was wrong about both. Everything I've said in this video is completely the truth about Devon's behavior. He needs to take accountability, and most importantly, Devon,
I think that makes it extremely obvious that your team didn't do any research. Do better.